Hello, and welcome to Faith in the Gaps. This is Em, and it's been a week, and we're here again. So, let's see, let's talk about, we had Mother's Day this weekend, and as many of you know, or if you don't know, my husband and I, we lost our children. Well, not our children, I guess it's more his children, in a high conflict divorce, and his children decided, or didn't decide, they didn't even get a say in the option, went with the high conflict birth mother. And so it's been about 3 years, and I hate it. I'll say it. I hate it. I hate it that I don't get to see my stepchildren. I hate it Mother's Day, because while I'm not a birth parent, I am a mom. I'm a stepmom, and nothing can take that away. So to the high conflict birth mother, I don't care. Anyway, so it was interesting, and Mother's Day was really hard for my husband and I, and we didn't really do much because I wasn't in the mood to see parents out with their kids and doing all this stuff, and it just wasn't my thing. So we kind of stayed home and did some laundry, got a little bit of food, nothing special, just a normal Sunday. And it was really interesting because he realized something that I think we both did at the same time, that his mother, so my husband doesn't have a real good relationship with his mom because of the high conflict divorce, and his mother has this obsessive need to identify with the daughter she lost as a mom, because her daughter died at 4 days old, and she just has this need to identify with that female, and she identified with my husband's ex. They both were kind of in the medical field. She used to be, his ex-wife was a paramedic, and after some traumatic events couldn't do that anymore. And so his mother was a pediatric nurse. And it's interesting how that she said, because of when my husband was born, she had to have a C-section done, which caused her to have a blood transfusion. Well, back in those times, Hep C wasn't being tested for when you donated blood, and she got Hep C from that transfusion. And she's always blamed my husband for that on some level. She lied for a long time to him, saying how she got Hep C. She said that she got it from a needle stick, which seemed kind of odd, but I just kind of was like, eh. And my husband was a preemie at birth, and she didn't have any lungs, and then after some prayer, magically had lungs. It was the best thing ever to happen, and because he's now my husband. But getting back to moms, his mother, I can't understand why you would blame somebody for a miracle that you get to see walking and talking every day. Why would you do that? What kind of mother are you? And the mother that's now raising my stepchildren forces her children to eat out of a trash can when they refuse to eat what she's made them, and if they are still hungry, she just forces them to get the food out of the trash and eat it, which I don't think is appropriate either. But apparently, CPS thinks it's, not in the best interest of the child, but at least it doesn't cause, death to a child. So, c'est la vie to that. And, it's bad when CPS admits there's something bad going on over there, but then, as a concerned stepmother, a concerned father, we're left holding nothing during that entire time of that high conflict divorce. And, it's just hard. It is. And you try to understand the logic of why God puts me in this situation, and so, after being without children for almost 3 years, I don't know. I don't understand why I don't know if she regrets now having the children. I don't understand any of that. I mean, I don't know two almost teenager and a teenager without social media access, but apparently that's what she's doing. And why, when you accept, as I've told you before in this, she's allowed the stepfather, who physically hits the children with his ring hand, across the back of the head, hurting them on multiple occasions, is now doing a year tour in Germany. And so you adopt children in February, you leave in March to go to Germany for a year. I don't get it. Like, is it because you need the money to get rid of the high conflict birth mother? That to me makes sense. But then why do you leave your children with her, knowing that she's like this? Like, she's a total drunk, and I don't get it. Like, she drinks obsessively when she's upset, and she's, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. And it's hard sitting in front of the internet all day and seeing pictures of high school kids, which my stepson is in high school. And so I've resorted back to doing comics, and I think that's where I find comfort, because I like doing comics. I like trying to present today's social things that I understand and putting them into comic format. I guess on some level, I hope. Sorry that my stepkids eventually find my comics online and find my vlog or find the websites I've developed. I know the odds of that are no to none, but I have that hope. And I think the thing that makes me the angriest is when my husband's mom decided to say once, while drinking a Jack and Coke, turns around and says to me, you'll never know what it's like to be a mom. And so, because us mothers, a whole new thing happens when we give childbirth. And so therefore, we know when there's something wrong with our children, because we just love them that much more. And she was saying this to me because, I was trying to take care of her grandchildren. She says, you just will never know what it's like to know when your child needs something. And the thing was, is she told that same thing to her own son. But I'm the one that accepted her children in my house. I gave up my 2 rooms and spent a lot of time, effort, and money designing, their house. And I made a high conflict divorce joy and have some normalcy of a life. And to her grandchildren, I don't understand why the birth mother and the grandmother of my stepchildren are like that. And I think that's the part where I know this is unchristian, but I have some faith that maybe God will make their life, that she'll feel the pain I feel every day. Seeing kids, knowing that I technically can't see either one of my stepkids until they're 18. And that's if they choose to come and see us. It's hard. And so I guess part of me hopes that with him going to Germany that he'll divorce her. And that's not very Christian either, but if he's on his 3rd marriage, she's on her 2nd. So I guess part of me is the odds aren't in their favor, to be real honest. But I have to believe that God's somewhere in all of this. I have to. But I survived Mother's Day. Yeah. I survived strong enough to even make a cartoon about it, which was hard. And last night, all I wanted was someone to recognize me as a mom. And it was a blessing because one of my friends who has lost a child has 2 children. One of them lives in Florida with her parents because of another high conflict parent divorce. But she instant messaged me last night, and she goes, "I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you this." She goes, "I know it was a hard day on Sunday, but I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day," which was nice to hear because she was the only one that did. So, you know who you are, and thank you for sending that. It meant the world to me. So, yeah. Anyway, I have to believe there's some hope in getting something out there. With that, I want to tell you that if you get divorced, life isn't about the wants and needs. It's about making things work and getting things right. Life is hard, folks, and so we shouldn't run to divorce because it's the easy way out. Now, I understand divorce is sometimes required, and that's fine, but make sure you do it amicably. Make sure that you do it under a Christian mindset. And if you have children, make sure it's something you really should do or not. Because it'll impact your kids. And the thing is if you let a parent, someone else adopt your children, for those of you that gain full custody, realize that you may lose your children in a divorce they do on you. And then the children are left with neither parent. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. You could now lose your children in a divorce. That's something to highly consider. I think that's important to consider before letting someone take over the quote-unquote father's role. But anyway, I have to believe God's doing this for a reason, and I have to believe God will show me the light at the end of the tunnel at some point. Not sure when that'll be. Car's still in the shop. Apparently my O2 sensor went out this time instead of my catalytic converter. So I was unable to go to Ben's uncle's Antiochian church, which I was really hoping to get to go do. But we're hoping maybe this weekend, if we're lucky, depending on how much gas is and stuff like that, because money is not, free flowing and all that, so we have to take into consideration all of that as well. But, we survived somehow. That's what's the point, is being able to survive. It's interesting if you get a chance, and what I recommend is Crowder does a song called Golgotha Hill. Take a listen to it sometime if you're going through a hard spell, because in a lot of ways it's my anthem song. It is. And it's what keeps me moving every day, to get up and deal with the fibromyalgia, deal with the T1D, knowing that I'm BRCA2 positive with something else, and so I've got to go get surgery and do all that and deal with all these surgeons, and I think God gave me a high pain tolerance for a reason, because in a lot of ways a normal person would never be able to handle all this. But somehow, with my faith in Him, I'm able to continue and get up, continue moving, continue living my day, and going to my work and doing my job. And if I didn't have the faith that He was there and He had control of all of this, I don't think I'd be able to help my friend in his situation with his court case and his pending divorce. And we're excited because he got referred to Veterans Court, so that's a pro there. I'm excited about that, which means he can go through the Veterans Court program and get his thing expunged and get VA services, and that has been a blessing for him, I won't lie. And because he'll be able to do that, he can stand a good chance in court of still being able to see his children, which, in all honesty, with his 5 or 6 year old, that'll be an important deal. So anyway, God bless that, and God bless this day, and God bless all of you. I'll be praying for you all. If you have questions or want to know more about stuff, you can email me at faithinthegaps@gmail.com. I appreciate and respond to everything I get, and we hope you guys have a blessed week and enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week. Have faith, guys.